All right, hello. Welcome to Otis Frampton Live. Hopefully you can hear me. Yesterday I forgot to turn my microphone on when I switched on the camera and everything, and spoke for like 5 minutes without anybody hearing me. That was embarrassing. But here we are again. Okay, let me just make sure everything's all good, set up here. And we will get going. Today, doing a special night show. Usually I do at 2 p.m. Central, but today I'm coming on at night because tomorrow is a very special day for me. Tomorrow is the debut of Patchwork Girl of Oz. Issue number 1 comes out tomorrow. This is not issue number 1. I probably should have showed issue number 1 just to get things going. There's issue number 1. It'll hit comic shops tomorrow. I hope everybody will be able to go out and get a copy, or become an Oz fan to grab a copy. That'd be awesome for me. I really appreciate that. If you do, please, share a photo of it or something like that on social media, and I'll repost it. I really appreciate that. Tonight I'm going to be working on a new page from issue 5. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to lay out this one. This looks really rough. It's actually a choice between this one, which is also rough. This is how I start my pages. And this one, but I think I'm going to start with this one. And I haven't done too many like designy comic pages. So in issue 5, the 3 main characters are starting their quest, and they're kind of walking down a mountain, and it's giving me an opportunity to do some more fun stuff in terms of the background visuals. Hold on one second here. Oh, and as always, I'm watching the chat, so if you want to chat with me, please do. Otherwise, I'm just going to jump in here. And so if you watched my shows before, you see me lay out pages, and it looks... I've got my script here. I have the text sort of in here. Let's see. So it looks like... Let's try to figure out the layout here. The idea behind this page is going to be... whoops, come on, stop it. It starts up here. I'm going to have the 3 travelers saying something up here. And then you're going to see some stairs coming down here and a waterfall right here. So they're coming down to where a waterfall pools. But I want to have some dialogue in a few panels here, and then stop here where there's going to be another piece of dialogue. What I actually might do is I might actually break this up into like panels this way, and then have the last panel kind of be... No, that's not going to work. But if I do this, if I extend this one down, have it be its own panel, I can have the characters right here talking. So you've basically gone down the... But actually, what I probably want to do is this. I mean, it's just... I roughed out this sketch sort of as a conceptual idea. Maybe if I do it that way. Have that be a panel, that be a panel. The idea is to have like the whole background sort of frame everything, and then break it up in between. So it's like, this is one panel, this is one panel, this is one panel, and this is one panel. That works for me. I like that a little better than what I had before. So I'm going to erase this. Just get rid of this so I know that I'm not including another panel there. Yeah, that's better. And then have the 3 characters here in this last panel. That works. So wide shot, close up, sort of medium shot in the wide shot. That's the idea here. At the end of the hour, I'm going to spend a few minutes showing issue 1 of the Patchwork Girl of Oz. I'm so proud of how it turned out. I really am. It's a rare feeling for me to feel this way. about my own work. Looking at issue 1, I feel like it's one of the best things I've ever done, and so I'm really excited for it to be out there in the world. All right, enough of that. Let's get working here. Actually, let me just merge this down. So first thing I'm going to do is sort of, whoops, on the right layer. Did I mention that I'm watching the chat? If you got any questions, please ask. Yeah, I probably did. So actually, first thing I'm going to do is sort of chart the path of the waterfall. Goes down here. Got the waterfall going out there. Got the bubbles and stuff. And I want to see it kind of start this way. Oh, wait, not too much there. Let's move this up. Make sure you got enough walking room for the 3 travelers. Some rocks there. Have the road. It's a blue brick road because they're still in Munchkin country. But now, actually, let me just turn on this real quick. These are my trim guides. And the green area is basically where the page will be trimmed when it's printed and cut, and the border is where all the dialogue needs to be inside of. But it also makes a nice, safe area for images too. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping things there. So let me just rearrange this a little bit because I need some more room. That's fine, keep that there. There we go. I might have like water trickling down, sort of showing the path of where it had been going from. Bushes, but I want the characters standing right here before they're going down, so and then probably just gonna have like an inference of trees here, same here. Stuff in the foreground. I know this looks really, really messy, but this is how I start things. So just gotta check my script again. So Zojo scripts. Okay. Just looking at the order of which characters are talking. So. Looks like I'm gonna have to have Ojo talking here, and I'll just do and behind them I'll show the stairs so we get a sense of them going back, going down. And then let me check something real quick. Okay. God, come on. Be nice to me here. There we go. So, just putting in some temporary things. over here, sort of straggling behind. Ooh, you know what? No. I know what I'll do. And this is, I know this is still messy, but you know, start to see what I'm doing here after a little bit. I'm going to have something in the foreground with a bird sitting on it. And I'll have the cat eyeing the bird as she walks by. There. A little business. Okay. Now I'm going to create some temporary panels, and I've got some brushes here that I can just quick throw on. These are not going to be the final panels, but I just want to get a sense of where they're going to be. And one more. Keep it. There we go. There we go. All right, we got our temporary panels in there. Let's rename that. I'm gonna merge that down. Stad Nikov says hello from Ukraine. Hello, Stad. How you doing? Or if it's Stad, I apologize. You still see me? Yeah, you still see me. All right, on to the third version. Let's see. What do I want to have them doing? I think I want to have the. Oh, let's change brushes here. I think maybe I'll put a tree up here and have the Patchwork girl sort of hanging off, looking down at the waterfall. And Ojo standing here, watching with the glass cat, also here. That works. There we go. Got the stairs path. And just to show you how, here, actually, I'll show you something real quick, so you know that I'm not insane for working this way. I wonder if I still have the layouts for this. This is the cover. Yeah, there's the layouts for. This is my initial layout for that cover, and then I just kept, you know, refining it, finding the shapes, finding the composition that I wanted. Turn this up there until I started getting better. It's still messy. Where is it? Oh, I didn't. There we go. I added on top of it. So that's the final pencils. You can see where I erased part away and was winging it. Before I inked it all, and it became that. So that's my process. It's very iterative, as I was talking about yesterday. But I wanted to show you my process so you don't think, what's this guy doing? This is what I'm doing. I have to work like this from sort of what I call ugly to pretty, and I use pretty, you know, not as a way of saying that my work is pretty, but That's just the way I think of it. All right. Now go to this panel. We've got Ojo, talking to the patchwork girl. That's just a close-up of him. And here I'm just doing, general shapes to sort of get me working. And I probably have Patchwork Girl's feet coming down here on the stairs behind him because he'll be looking up this way, back at her. I'll have to rearrange this again when I get the dialogue in. Usually I lay the dialogue in first. I showed that in a previous live stream. I put the dialogue in there chunk by chunk and compose around it. This is a unique case where I actually had an idea for the visuals of the page first, and I'm trying to get those set before the dialogue, and I'll work around that once I get a little bit more laid down. Let's make sure I don't forget about that bird. Okay, now the Patchwork Girl. She's having a grand old time. We're walking this way. That's a really, really rough version of what I have in mind. Really terrible. Yeah, actually, I don't really want to stay with that. I want to... kind of want her to be smug. So she's talking about herself here, if I remember the dialogue correctly. So she might sort of be jerking a finger towards herself here, jerking a thumb, I should say. I'll have her walking a little bit more like what I thought before here. Now the glass cat here. Walking, but eyeing the bird. And Ojo leading the way. With his big hat. And he's got a little bit more of a hunch. How's everybody doing? Watching my ridiculous drawings. I'm gonna adjust these for... make sure the scale is okay on them. There we go. All right. So let me just rough in, I'll keep roughing in the background, so I've got a little bit of a guide as to what's going on here. Come on. There we go. It's getting cleaner. I think at this point I'm gonna jump in and do what I normally do at the beginning. Merle Tomlin over on Instagram says, I'm currently sketching my own comic while watching. Good luck with your comic, Merle. Thank you. Thank you for watching, I should say. Not just thank you. I'm going to jump in now and let's rename this and put in the dialogue. And hopefully this works out. I thought of the page layout while I was reading the script I have set up. Turn a couple layers off here. But hopefully this works out. All right, so here we go. So we got Ojo speaking first. I think I made a mistake in giving you so many brains. That is the first line of dialogue. And let me turn on the trim again. I think, see, already I can see I'm going to have to adjust the images or the imagery, push that down a little bit more, but we'll do that later. And this is how I letter in Procreate. I usually do this almost first before even laying down any drawings because I compose my pages with the dialogue. Here's the second line. Copy that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to move this. Oh, actually, maybe this will be his first line dialogue here. I don't know if this stuff is useful to anybody, but everybody, I always get questions about how I do comics in Procreate, given that it's it's not Photoshop, it's not Illustrator. So how do you do this? How do you do that? And this is how I do it. Let's see, another line. What had you to do with my brains? As script. Copy that. Now I'm thinking that this is definitely going to have to be here. And then her line is going to be here. So, what had you to do with my brains? Right there. Then, but so going back to what I was saying, if anybody has any questions about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, please ask. I'm watching the chat. I'd love to talk about the process if anybody wants to know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. So here's the next line. A lot. Copy that. Duplicate. Throw this over here. Whoops. So that's a lot of dialogue right here. I'm gonna leave that up there for now, just on its own. Name this a lot. And go back to the script. Come on. Thanks. And the girl. Better. That's okay. So this is matching up with what I had in mind. Next person to talk is Patchwork Girl. And there's some, hold on. Come on. All right. So in the text of the book, it says, "Thanks to the girl dancing along the path ahead of Ojo and then dancing back to his side." I like that little bit of business that she has, but I'm probably going to have it on the next page or the page after that. This her dancing around him. It'll give a nice visual, and it'll work just as well there. Right now, I just wanted to show. In the first few pages, I'm trying to show geography of the mountain and the woods that they're walking through. Merle says, "I've been in the habit of doing my lettering last, and I fear it hinders the process." Yeah, it hinders the process. I think it does. Lettering should not be an afterthought of the imagery on a comic page. It should be part of the page. It should be part of the thought process of the layouts. It should flow. It should help create a performance in the mind of the reader. It shouldn't just be something that you put down after the pages are done. You should try doing your lettering at the beginning of the process, and I bet you'll find that you'll become a better storyteller because of it. All right, let's get back to work here. Script. Is it better? Oh, come on. There we go. A few braids are good, many are better, but they ought to be evenly balanced, said the boy. So, duplicate that, bring this down. This is actually going to work out really well, I think, once I get all the lines split up. Kind of like that line. I'm gonna make sure that this line here, from the way you're acting, I guess he's saying, but your brains ought to be evenly mixed. I had no time to be careful. From the way you're acting, I guess the dose was badly mixed. Early in the story, he mixes together some potions that are basically her brains and what they put him in. And she's basically, got so many personality aspects that it makes her kind of a wonky character. But that's awesome. So, yeah. All right. Now we got the dialogue sort of laid in, but now it's time to start making adjustments. And I think one of the first things I'm going to do is break up this line of dialogue. So that this, if a few brains are good, many brains must be better, is moved down here. And then I can edit this, get rid of that. Oh, you know what? That doesn't work. And here's why. Yeah, that actually has to be on its own. So we're going to kill that. I may have to move these guys around to make the lettering work. We'll see. All right, so we keep this. Few brains are good, many must be better. 6. I think I like it better if she says but if. So I'm going to add that. Yeah, I like that a little better. And, you know, watching this kind of thing might not be the most exciting thing in the world, but I feel like not enough artists, comic creators who are one-man bands that do everything, show this part of the process. They usually, you know, are drawing something really exciting from a page, or you know, the splashy stuff that gets views. But honestly, I really feel like stuff like this is much more valuable to anybody watching. At least that's my thought. Now, oh, that's where I saw the word but. It's in the next line dialect. I'm going to keep that though. So I'm going to alter this to sure but, so that it's not a repeat. So there's 3 lines here from Ojo, and they've all got to go down in this bottom panel. So it might be a case of having to rework where these characters are. I might have her in front. Duplicate this. Let's get the next line in there. Yeah, that actually works better, you know, blocking the characters, because I'll be able to have him behind her looking up at her like, you know, with a little bit of disgust. Not disgust, but frustration maybe. Got that. Almost done with this, and I can get back to the drawing part, but I wanted to lay this out because that is where I'm at in the process. There we go. Now I'm going to go back and actually alter switch around. Yeah, hopefully this will work. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the process, is doing the layouts. It's where the storytelling really happens. The finishing up the drawings, you know, inking them, coloring them, getting all that stuff. That's fun in its own way. But this, you know, I feel like I consider myself a storyteller more than anything else, and so this to me is sort of where the rubber hits the road. It's not even in the writing. It's putting all this together in a way that flows and works well. Let me turn this back on. This is actually going to work pretty well, I think. Put this here. Don't want to block too much of the imagery. Put this there. Maybe move her just a little bit back here so that I can use a balloon tail and jump. Oops. Jump there. Still gotta make room. I always try to make sure that I'm making room for the balloons too, and also making considerations for bad tangents. I don't like. So the reason to do your lettering yourself is I hate when lettering is done by somebody else and they go and they place the lettering somewhere and the balloon lines create a bad tangent with other lines that are already existing in the artwork. That could have been avoided if the lettering had been planned out in advance. It all goes to create, it all has to work together to create the best single experience. There, in my opinion, anyway. So, I'm actually okay if feeling like I'm okay if some of these balloons break the panel borders on these. So let's get in here and start adjusting this. Kind of move this down, make room for the dialogue. That means making the waterfall a little lower, but that's okay. I guess I don't have to. Hold on one second. I can make come on, stairs. What is happening here? That's weird. Oh, that was strange. I can just make the stairs a little lower. Okay, so let's go back. Oh no, actually let's make the tree first. Kind of want the tree to frame this there. I may have to cut a few words here. Actually, I'm gonna change it a little bit here. There we go. Now, I can do this. I can have it break that panel off, but let's see. Yeah, I have to think about how I want to break this up. But so far it's working okay. What I might do now is just turn off the dialogue. I'm going to have to rearrange some things here to really make it work. But that's not what I want to work on now. It's already 7:40. Merly on Instagram says, appreciate the advice. I'll be applying these tips to my current project. Awesome. Let me know how it works out. I really think that once you start thinking of the comic page as a whole and not just parts that you assemble, you start to become a better comic book storyteller. Now, one of the nice things about how I've done this here is I like the flow. I like how it starts up here. She's looking at the waterfall. So this is one panel. This is like an establishing shot almost. Then it flows into a close-up, two close-ups where they're talking and moving down the stairs, which you can see because the stairs will be behind them. And then it flows into here where you get a little bit of business with the cat looking at the bird. excuse me, and them at the bottom of the little staircase, and walking into the next page. So now I can start. Probably going to do one more sort of what I'll call rough. I do usually like 2 to 3 roughs, and then I start on iterative versions of the pencils before I start inking it. Sometimes, you know, I don't do that. Sometimes I'll jump from a rough right into inks because it's, you know, it's all there. But usually like this, I'll do some iterations. So I want her looking. I'm gonna have her grabbing onto a branch here. Her hair falling down. She's like a newborn, but a newborn with a mind of her own, so she's kind of quirky. I try to draw her that way. And I'm going to have Ojo standing here. I think I'm going to have him crossing his arms, kind of, you know, a little frustrated. The cat here. Maybe I'll have the cat sort of up on her legs. There. I think it'll be interesting. I'm doing these live streams. I don't think I've ever done these before like this with previous comic projects, so it might be interesting to come back, you know, when issue 5 is out, and you can see how things look based on how they started. Oh, I forgot who I was drawing. Let's go back. It's like, hey, this isn't right. That's what I get for trying to talk and draw at the same time. And yes, this is how fast I draw when I'm just laying stuff out. The only time I ever really listen to music when I'm working is when I'm doing this, because I'm listening to some music right now, and it's got a lot of it's got some tempo going on, so. But keeps me energized. Otherwise, music tends to put me to sleep when I'm working, so I listen to audiobooks mostly. Audiobooks or documentaries. It's just like music tends to lull me. Did I get that? Yeah, I did. I think maybe I'm going to change this so I can change his arm position here, so I can have him sort of like addressing. So I have his leg go this way. Starting to get laid out here. Starting to be able to see where things go. And in general, I do things this way, where I draw make sure the characters are drawn out, and then do the background. Because the characters are the first things that people look at when they're reading on a page. Well, I mean, actually, it's the second thing. They look at the dialogue and they sort of assess who's saying things. And at least on the first time through, I tend to find that most people feel the backgrounds more than look at them. So get your characters right first. Then throw in the background. Can't lose. Unless it's, a case like with this first panel here with the waterfall, there's a certain composition that I knew I wanted. And so, roughing that out first made sense. This could be smug here. Time is it? Yeah. Thanks, Merle. Appreciate it. drawing these characters enough now that basic shapes are second nature to me. Although I still need to work on the proportions sometimes. There we go. I can move him a little more over this way, get him away from Patchwork Girl. All right, starting to come together. Starting to look like a comic book page. Excuse me. Let's see, hold on. Oh, good luck with the competition, really. Got to go your own way, but if Merle says, my current project is for a web comic competition, but I much prefer having a full page to draw. I'm not a big fan of the scrolling format, but it's what the medium calls for. So I'm just going to throw some advice here. Not that you asked, but it's based on what you said. If you want to do comics, you should do comics. You shouldn't do competitions, because that's just a distraction in the end. Because, you know, it's probably for a short comic. Probably it's great having that experience, but I've always said jump in. I didn't start small. I didn't say, oh, I'm just going to do this first and this first. I did a comic. I made a comic. It wasn't great, but it got my career rolling. It was published. I always say go for it. Go for it. Don't sell yourself short. Believe in yourself and just go for it. So that's my advice. But if you take the advice and you do the competition, good luck with it. I really appreciate that you're watching, and I wish you well. I hope you get a lot of experience from it. Because that's one of the best things about doing stuff like that. I've done a few anthologies in the past, and it's always good to have experience. All right, I'm going to put this away and jump into a few minutes talking about the comic coming out tomorrow. It's going to be 1 second while I put all this away. Turn the light on here. Make sure that everything's good. All right. So, there we go. So make sure to focus. All right. So coming out tomorrow is Patchwork Girl of Oz, issue number 1. I am, I've said it before, but I'm so proud of this comic. When I look at this, it really feels like one of the best things I've ever done. I'm so proud to be able to do an Oz comic. Finally, I've wanted to do one for years, but held off for various reasons. This originally started as a newsletter exclusive, like page a week comic for my newsletter subscribers. I was just doing it because I wanted to do it. And one day during an email exchange between me and my publisher at Image, I asked, would you ever consider doing an Oz adaptation? And luckily I had, almost 2 full issues to show him. And it was an immediate yes. I could not believe it. I really didn't think that it would ever be published like that. I thought maybe I'd publish it, as a Kickstarter or Indiegogo eventually, but actually thrilled that it's got the Image eye on it. I really am. And it comes out tomorrow. This represents, a few years of work. Some of it just on my own, doing it because I wanted to do it. Here's one of my favorite spreads in in the book. And then if you buy it, you'll also get my recreation of the map of Oz that Baum originally drew. I recreated it completely. And then, hey, next issue. Look at that. Next issue. I can't wait. I'm going to be at Source Comics and Games all day tomorrow in Roseville, Minnesota for the debut, signing copies for all my local fans and friends who have helped support me by buying Oddly Normal comics over the years. I hope to see a lot of you there. If not, please check out your local comic shop, buy a copy. Let's sell this thing out. Let's make it happen. Let's put this thing into a second printing. That would be awesome. I don't expect that, but boy, it sure will be good. And I'm going to continue to keep making this comic on the live stream when I can over the course of the next couple of years. Couple of years and 20 issues. That's the current plan. Hopefully it gets to that. All right, I'm going to open it up for questions if anybody has any questions before I take off. D. Morton Photos says, good advice, killer work. Thank you so much, D. Morton. This is going to be my copy, clearly, because it's bent. I can't wait. I already had somebody say that they read the first issue, looked at it, and they were a longtime Oz fan, and they were very happy with how I did. I think that's one of the things that makes me most nervous about this comic is other Oz fans. I'm an Oz fan. I'm a huge Oz fan. If I could turn the camera on and show you my shelf full of Oz books, I would. But I think I'm most nervous that Oz fans will take issue with some of the things I've done. I hope not. I love this book. I really do. I'm actually, one of the reasons I did this book is because Marvel did adaptations and they ended with book 6, and I was like, oh, they stopped at 6. Patchwork Girl's next. That's one of my favorites. So I feel like I got lucky that I got to do Patchwork Girl because I love the story, and it's going to be so much fun getting to draw all the old Oz characters too eventually, because they show up in the story too. All right, so I think that's about it. I don't think anybody else had any more questions. I'm going to say goodbye until Thursday. I might jump on tomorrow when I'm at the comic shop and I get to see my comic on the shelf. That'd be kind of cool. But otherwise, I'll see you Thursday at 2 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe on Instagram, X, Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube, the 5 places I stream to. And I'll see you later. Take care.